Let's talk about Chris's last book, the book he was working on when he was killed, a book that you stepped forward to finish, and it really very much ties guns to American history.
Right. Well, it was interesting because Chris was doing a lot of reflecting about guns in his own life and how he grew up hunting in the great outdoors and how he used them as a cowboy and how he used them with different veterans who found a lot of healing. It was a lot more impactful to them than what they found in the hospital. And he started to think about really different guns. He was getting into the Old West guns and replicas of black powder. And he came up with this idea of 10 iconic guns and the people who used them and how using them in certain situations changed the course of American history. So he was very excited about it and was telling me all kinds of stories. And HarperCollins was good enough to come on board and make this book a priority. And so all we really had to do was just finish it for him. But it's really cool. I mean, I'm not a history buff. I love history. I love learning about it. But and I'm certainly not a technical gun person, but I can tell you I love the book. It's all stories. It's good.
Do you have an anecdote you can give me? One of the guns that changed American history?
Well, I probably do, but I'm going to tell you this instead.
Okay.
So the book goes through the guns from the Revolutionary Wars, the Western frontier, the World Wars, and it was just interesting to see how they go through why you have certain guns and then how they needed to change them to be more effective, and then different people that had to use them. It's just fascinating, but there's probably not one. I have to think about that to find one story, because really all of them have a different. There's 10, and there's a really special aspect to each of them, depending on where your interest level lies, I guess.
One of the things we've said on one of my shows on gun stories, we've said the history of America is the history of guns.
In some ways, it really can be. I mean, it's been a part of our rights and our freedoms, and a lot of people have used them to protect themselves. It makes them feel more comfortable. It makes them feel like the government's not going to take them over. And then just on a personal level, safety-wise. I know I feel safer with a gun. I mean, I'm a woman, and really if a strong, bad guy, so to speak, wants to come after me, how am I going to defend myself? It's nice to know that I can do that. But the police aren't always going to be able to come fast enough.
You can't carry a policeman on your back, but you can carry a gun.
Exactly.
Now, just before the show started, big announcement that Steven Spielberg is going to be directing Chris's book. It's going to be a huge Hollywood production. Tell me what you think of that.
Well, it's been interesting because, the news just came out and people are very opinionated, and I like that. I like strong opinions. I like to hear them. But, Steven Spielberg did Band of Brothers, and he did Saving Private Ryan. He did an amazing job with those. I think he has a very strong heart for veterans. And people involved with this, Bradley Cooper, he's known to be somebody who's very humble and kind and loving and supportive of veterans. So when you take those aspects of those men, it makes me feel very confident that they're going to do the right story, and they're going to do it in a heartfelt, powerful way. And I've been working with the writer, Jason Hall, for quite some time, and he's got an amazing heart. They want to get it right.
That's very good.
That's
good to hear, because you worry when, I work a lot with Hollywood. Sometimes you worry when you step into that, do they care enough to get it right?
Right. No, that's exactly the point. And I think that, we were fortunate and blessed enough to have Chris know a lot of people and touch a lot of people, and they're invested in having this story right, and I appreciate that. But I can tell you probably, when it comes to Chris, I don't play around much, so it's going to be right.
I imagine that you did. It's got to be right.
Yeah, and they really, truly, their heart is in a great place, and they've been wonderful. So I'm really hopeful that it's going to be something we can all be proud of. I'm hopeful that veterans are proud of it and feel like it represents them well. Because, as you know, American Sniper was not just a story about Chris. It was a story about all veterans. We have a lot of things in common. Our families go through the same things. And Chris did not want that to be all about him. I think he was successful in doing that. We hear a lot of people that say they can really relate, their wives can relate, and that's what it's all about.
Do you still have opportunities to work with veterans?
I do. I'm extraordinarily blessed to know a lot of really good people in a lot of different industries, and we've been working with a lot of different charities and just individuals who really want to help veterans and do the right thing. So we've been able to see, just last week, there was a home that was donated to a veteran in Chris's name. My in-laws went to another home that was donated in Chris's name. We work a lot with Troops First to do some really good things there. And the love from the American people right now for our veterans is mind-boggling. I love it. I love it. And we have lots of opportunity to do good for them.
What would you say to wives who have service members overseas, or now in the new world, also husbands who have service members overseas? What would you say to them?
I would probably tell them that I know it's not easy. And I'd probably thank them for what they're doing. If I'm in contact, I would love to do something for them. Babysit for them, do something. Even, I find that a lot of military spouses are very strong. And if you would ask, well, what can I do? Let me do something for you. They're not going to tell you. The thing to do is to just do it. Just tell them, if they trust you enough, just tell them, I'd like to come over and babysit. I don't care if you take a nap. You don't even have to go anywhere, but I'm going to do that. Or, here's a gift certificate. You and your husband go on a date. When you get back, or your wife when she gets back. I would just tell them that my heart is with them and that we're doing the best we can to try to remind people that the people at home are pulling a lot of the heavy weight.
They also serve.
They also serve. And a lot of times they do it quietly, and a lot of times they do it with a lot of pain, a lot of struggle.
Thank you. Look forward to the book. It looks like a wonderful topic. Speaking as the producer of Gun Stories, I love gun stories.
I hope you like it. You'll have to let me know.
I will like it. Trust me.
Good. I'm glad. We'll get you a copy.